Today the topic of discussion is recursion, and in recursion we'll discuss question on recursion, which is third question. So first of all, we have discussed what is recursion, and after discussing recursion we have discussed question number 1, which was asked in TCS Digital, and then we have discussed question number 2, which was asked in IIT Kharagpur. And today I'm going to discuss question number 3, which is of GATE 2020. GATE 2020. And the question number was, if I'm not wrong, question number 36. Fine. So let's start with the question. So you have a question and you have a 60 minute to solve this question. Meanwhile, I should read a question for you. That is, there are two functions definition, that is function 1 definition and function 2 definition. And you have asked that what will be the written value of function 2 when you are passing value 5. That is function 2 value, what will be the value written by function 2 when you are passing a value 5. In function 2 you are calling function 1 also, that is you are calling this function. Obviously when we have used this function, you must be using it somewhere else. Fine. And then we are calling function 2. So this is what recursion, and you have to give the answer of this question. Meanwhile, you still have 23 seconds or 22 seconds to solve this question. And if you have just calculated the question, you can answer it, or I'm going to solve this question for you. So let's start with the question. So in question, what is it is asking is that it is calling a function 2 with the value 5. So let's start. So it is calling a function 2 with value 5. So that is, it is calling a function with value 5. So here I'm putting value 5. Let me change the color of my pen so that it looks more clear. So it will become value 5. Fine. Okay. Now what will happen? In function definition you are watching, there is a variable I having data type integer, and the storage class of that particular variable I is static. Then what is the meaning of static? So meaning of static is that once you initialize the value in a different function call, you need not to initialize the value, and the value which is gained by static variable will remain persistent. That is, value of a variable persist, persist, very important term, persist between different function call. That is, if you are calling function n number of time, it doesn't means that this value will vanish. It will remain persistent, and it will not get reinitialized every time. That is, if you are again calling a function, it will get to initialize I is equal to 0. It will not be happen like that. If and only if you have created the storage class of that variable as static. Either if it is auto or register, it will get initialized. Fine. So now let me start with the solution of this question. So let me remove all this stuff for you. Let's start. So static. Now the current value of a static variable is I is equal to 0. So currently the value of this static variable is 0. Is n greater than 0? The current value of n is 5. Yes, condition is true. You will move inside, and what you are doing? You are doing I is equal to I plus. So what is current value of I? 0 plus. You are calling a function 1. I'm writing it f1 with value n. What is the current value of n? 5. And you are still left with one call also. That is, you are again, after which you are calling a function 2 with value n minus 1. What is n? 5 minus 1, 4. So what you will do first? You will call this function. So when you will call this function, you are calling a function 1 with value what? 5. Again you will see this function is also having a variable I. Is it possible? Yes, definitely. A 2 family can have same name. 2 family can name their son with James. Yes, it is practically possible. Fine. And both are both of them are having a name I. Their data type is integer, and both of them are static. Fine. Though, so condition remains same for both the variables. Now is n is greater than 0? Yes, absolutely, because n is 5. True. It will move inside. It will increment value of I. So current value of I was 0. It will become 1. Fine. So I'm making it 1. Fine. And now you're calling a function 1 inside function. So this is what recursion. You are calling function with inside a function. So this is recursion. What you are doing? You are calling function 1 with value 5 minus 1, which is 4. You are calling function with 4 value. It will move here. So I'm not making arrow every time. It will move here and it will make value 4. Now, will it reinitialize? No, definitely it will not reinitialize, because once the value is initialized, since it is a static variable, it will not reinitialize. The value remain 1. It will again check, is 4 equal greater than 0? Yes. It will increment I. I will become now 2, and it will again call function with value 1 less. That is, it will call value with value function with value 3. Now this value will become 3. It will not reinitialize. Is 3 greater than 0? Certainly. Again, I will be incremented. I will be incremented to 3. Again, I'll call the function with value 3 minus 1, 2. So this value become 2. Is 2 greater than 0? Yes. I will increment I. It will become 4. And I'll again call the function with value 1 less, that is value 1. So it will become 1. So is 1 greater than 0? Yes. It will again, I will increment I, that is it will become 5. So current value of I become 5, and I'll again call the function with value 1 less, that is 0. So this value becomes 0. Now 0 is greater than 0? No, condition becomes false. The moment condition becomes false, you come out of if block and you are returning I. What is the current value of I? The current value of I is 5. So I'm writing 5 over here. So you are returning value 5 to whom? Where you have received the call. So you have received a call from this function. So you are returning value 5 to this. So 5 plus 0 is equal to 5. So now this I, which I? Function 2I. This I is a function 2. So function 2I has become 5. Now what you are doing, you are calling function 2 with value 4. You are calling function 2 with value 4. Fine. So now what will happen? This value become 4. You will initialize? No, you will not reinitialize because it is static variable, and the current value of this I is now 5. Is 4 greater than 0? Certainly 4 is greater than 0. You will again do this. I is equal to I. What is the current value of I? 5 plus you are calling function 1 with value n. The current value of n is 4, and you are left with one function more call, that is function 2 with value n minus 1, that is value 3. You are calling this. So what will happen? Now you will call this function with value 4. Fine. Will you reinitialize? No, because still my program is living. It's not dead. So the previous value of I will remain. So previous value of I is 5. It will remain like that. So I will check, is 4 greater than 0? Certainly 4 is greater than 0. I will increment. So 5 will become 6. I will call the function again with value 4 minus 1, that is with 3. So now this will become 3. Is 3 greater than 0? Yes. So I will increment 6 to 7, and I'll call function with value 1 less, that is value 2. So this will become 2. Is 2 greater than 0? Yes. I will increment to 8, and I'll call function with value 1 less. So this will become 1. Is 1 greater than 0? Yes. I will increment this, and I'll call this function with value 1 less, that is 0. So this will become 0. Is 0 greater than 0? No. Condition becomes false. So now the current value of I is 9. So this is 9. And since condition become false, I'll come out and I'll return 9. To whom I will return? Now I will return to this function because I have received the call from this function. So I will return 9 to this. So 9 plus 5 become 14. The current value of I, which I variable of function 2 will become 14. Now I'm calling function 2. That is, I'm calling function 2 with new value is 3. Fine. Will I reinitialize? No, I will not reinitialize. Is 3 greater than 0? Certainly 3 is greater than 0. I will make it I is equal to I plus the current value of I becomes 14. 14 plus function 1. What is function 1? Function 1 is this function, and you are calling with value 3, and you are left with one more call, that is function 2 with value n minus 1, that is value 2. So what will happen? Now you will call function f1 with value 3. So you are calling function 1 with value 3. Will you reinitialize? No, because this is static variable. So, and the current value of this I of function 1 is 9. So is 3 greater than 0? Yes, certainly 3 is greater than 0. Fine. So I'll increment, because condition is 2, I'll increment 9 become 10, and I'll call the function with value 1 less, that is 3 minus 2 with 2. Now this value become 2. Is 2 greater than 0? Yes. I'll increment to 11. Fine. And I'll call this function with value 1. So again this value become 1. Is 1 greater than 0? Yes. I'll increment to 12, and I'll decrement and call the function. I'll call the function with value 0. Is 0 greater than 0? No. Condition becomes false. Since the current value of I, which I of function 1 has become 12. So on condition false, I'll come out and I'll return the value of I, which is 12, to whom? To this function. I'm saying this is become 12 now. So 12 plus 14 become 26. Which value of I become 26? Function 2 value. The I variable of function 2 becomes 26 now. Now I'm calling this function 2 with value 2. So I'm calling this function with value 2. I'll reinitialize? No, I will not reinitialize. Is 2 greater than 0? Certainly. So again, what am I doing is I is equal to I plus what is current value of this 26 plus. I'm calling function what with value 2, and again I'm calling this function 2 with value 1 less, that is function value 1. So what am I doing is now I'm calling this has was become 5. So I'm calling this function 1 with value 2 now. Fine, this value with 2. So this has become 2. Fine. Will I reinitialize? No. The current value was 12. So is 2 greater than 0? Certainly. So I'll increment. It will become 13. And now I will call this function 2 minus 1 becomes 1. So I'll call this function with value 1. Is 1 greater than 0? Certainly. 13 will become 14. I'll call this function with value 1 less, that is 0. So this will become 0. Again, it will come inside and it will check. Is 0 greater than 0? No. Condition becomes false. The current value of this I has become now 14. So after coming out of this if block, I'll return value of I. The current value of I is 14. So to whom I will return 14? I will return 14 to this function. So 14 plus 26 will become 40. So the current value of I, which I variable of function 2 will become 40. Now I'm calling function 2. Now I'm calling function 2 with value 1. So with value 1, I'm calling function with value 1. Fine. So I'm calling this with 1. Now, will I reinitialize? No. Is 1 greater than 0? True. Certainly. So I will call I is equal to I plus. I is equal to I plus. What is the current value of I? 40 plus. I'm calling function 1 with value 1. And again, I'm calling function 2 with value 1 less. That is function value 0. So what will happen? I'll call this function 1. I'll call this function 1 with the value 1 now. 1. Fine. Okay. So this has become 1. Will I reinitialize? No. Is 1 greater than 0? Certainly true. I'll increment, the current value was 14. I'll increment to 15. I'll again call 1 minus 1 is become 0. I'll call with value 0. Is 0 greater than 0? No. Condition become false. I'll come out and I'll return current value of I. The current value of I is 15. To whom I will return? I'll return to this function. I will return to this function. Let me make it more clear. I'll return to this function. Which 15 value, with value 15. So I'll return this 15 to his. 15 plus 40 become 55. So the current value of variable I of function 2 become 55. So what I will do now, I will call this function 2. I will call this function 2 with value now 0. With value 0. Now, will I reinitialize? No. Is 0 greater than 0? No. Now condition become false. Since the condition become false, I'll come out of a block and return. To whom I will return? I'll return to this. I will return this. What I'll return? Value of I. The current value of I is what? 55. So the correct answer is 55. Finally, so if you see, the correct answer of this question of GATE 2020 question number 36 is 55.